going to go through how to get a nice natural base coverage without it being cakey, streaky, and not overdone. So it all starts with your skincare and skin prep. So if your skin is not in good condition, you're not taking care of your skin, your makeup is just not going to sit right. So if you can, give your face a cleanse before you do any sort of makeup application, and as a bare minimum you want to do a bit of hydration and also apply some moisturizer. So I'm going to apply my hydration serum. It's got hyaluronic acid in there, which helps pull moisture in. It helps lock it into place. It works together with your moisturizer to keep your skin in a really nice plump condition. Moisturization is what helps keep your skin looking plump and happy. As we age, our skin does dry out more, so we want to keep it happy with the right product. So I'm just going to do a quick application of my hydration serum, and then we're going to go in with my daytime moisturizer to suit my skin. If you want help with skincare, you can let me know, as it's something I'm also very passionate about. Now, if you can as well, try and let your skincare settle for at least 10 minutes, just so it has time to settle into the skin. If I was to go straight into applying my foundation right now, it could possibly go on a bit streaky, just because my skincare has not had a chance to dry, has not had a chance to settle and do its thing. So if you can, do your skincare, go make yourself a cup of coffee, and then settle into doing your makeup. Now, I personally prefer to use brushes when it comes to my application, and I want to show you the difference between a clean brush and a dirty brush, because again, a dirty brush is going to completely change how your makeup goes on. So this brush here is still, it's probably only had one use out of it. The bristles are still nice and fluffy. I could definitely use this one again. This one here, we're probably on our last application. The bristles are starting to clump together, but I might get away with one more application before having to clean it. Whereas this one here, you can see the bristles are clumping together. We've got big sections of bristles that are now stuck together. So this one here, if I was to apply my foundation with this one, it's going to go on really streaky and yucky. So make sure your blush brushes are nice and clean, because not only that, obviously bacteria is going to be in the brushes, and the dirty they are, you're putting that bacteria in the skin, which we don't want that. Okay, so let's get into application. I've got my foundation. I've just pumped some out onto my lid of the bottle, and I'm just going to grab my brush and dab some onto the brush. And I'm just going to start in the center of my face, and I use a nice dabbing motion rather than stroking. If you do stroke, it's fine, but you will end up having to use a lot more product. So if you just do a nice stippling motion and just slowly start to spread this one out, focusing on one area of the face at a time, you're going to get a really nice coverage without having to use too much product. I also try and avoid this very under eye area, because I'm actually going to apply concealer after my foundation. I usually do prefer to apply foundation first, because sometimes you may find that you don't need as much concealer as you think. Your foundation may do this job. So I always apply after, unless I've got a lot of correction to do. For example, if I've got a really angry acne spot, then I might do some correction first. Or if I have a model come in who's got very, very dark circles under their eyes, or a lot of rosacea, and I don't think the foundation is going to cover, then I may do a little bit of correction there first. But just dab, 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 and go up into that ear line. Don't forget, I like to push it into that ear line so I don't get a really long line there, real focused kind of line where the foundation ends. And when it comes down to your neck, I go about halfway. Unless I'm really tan, I've done a tan on the body, I might bring it down further, but generally I'm going to do it halfway on the neck. Now, the best area to work at your foundation shade is actually between your cheek and your jawline. So normally if I've got a model coming in who hasn't had her foundation match before, I would be doing a line like that and letting it settle for a little bit so it can correct. My foundations in particular, they do shade correct and they do correct tone. So I just let it settle for a little bit and then have a look. We want the shade to basically disappear into the skin, not be too yellow, not be too pink, and also try and get it into natural light. So facing a window is generally best. Bathroom lights are terrible, they're never the right lighting. So if you can, pick up your mirror, go to a window, face the window, not direct light, just nice filtered light from the window. That is going to give you a really good representation of your skin, and that will show you how your foundation is sitting. If you need to, I would always go a shade too light. If I had to choose between too light and too dark, I'd always go too light, only because you can deepen it with bronzer and blush, whereas once you've gone too dark, it's really hard to come back from. So if you don't have a choice and you are stuck between the two, go for a slightly lighter shade than a darker shade. Other areas that people tend to forget is underneath their nose. Give it a little dab there. I put my lips like this so I can go over the lip area. And when it comes to brows, just go as close as you can. You can always tie them up. I usually have little cotton buds just sitting at my table just so I can quickly clean up my brows as well. So I will generally apply one layer first, let it settle for a little bit, and then decide whether I want to go in with a second layer to build it up. Again, it does depend on your product. Some products, if they go on cakey and you've done all the other steps, it could be the foundation itself. Okay, let's go in with concealer. So concealer, I go a shade lighter than my natural colouring. Otherwise, you can match shade for shade. But for me, because I'm just using under this under eye area, I go a shade lighter because it's going to help brighten. But if you do have really dark circles, that is something you can correct with an eye serum. Again, it's something I can help you with. But if you do have really dark circles, you may need to do some correction first, because sometimes concealers can make it go more grey or more blue, which is not what you want. So you would need to correct first with like a terracotta type colour. So if I was doing some correction first for very dark under circles, I'd use something in this sort of colour, and I would apply it first before my foundation. It will go on quite dark, but then you're going to cover it anyway, and that just helps correct and cancel out any blueness. Okay, so with concealer, I do like to start with my finger. So I'm just going to apply a little bit on my finger then, and I'm going to spread it out to the other side, and I'm just going to focus on this inner corner by dabbing it into place, not dragging. If we drag, we're just going to damage this under eye area. So just be nice and gentle with your little dabs, because using my finger also helps warm the product from my body heat, and that just helps make it go on nice and smooth. And then I like to grab a nice little brush and just to help pat it into place, just to help blend it out with that foundation, and just do soft little motions. Okay, so now that my foundation is on, it kind of just washes out any of my natural colouring and warmth, because it's colour corrected all of it. So that's why we add a bit of blush or bronzer back into our face to get us a bit of colour and a bit of life. Also contouring as well. I do have a video on my channel on contouring and how to make it nice and simple, not overcomplicated. So check that one out if you're into contouring. Otherwise, I'm just going to go in straight with my blush today. So for my blush, I'm going to find the nice high point of my cheek, which is generally on the top of my ear line, this direction here. I'm just going to apply this product straight on, just do a nice line, and then using a nice fluffy brush, I'm just going to bounce this one into place. Bounce, bounce, bounce. I'm not going to go past the middle of my eye, because then it's going to bring it down too far, and we want to create more of a lift rather than dropping our face. And then you can also bounce it into your temple area, so it's a bit of a hook there. And then once I'm happy with the positioning, then I can start to brush it up into my hairline. Don't brush back and forth, because then you will probably naturally just bring it down too far. So just bring it up. And if you feel like you need to calm it down, always go back to your foundation brush and just go around the edges, even over the top if you need to, and just help blend it out. But see how it just adds a bit of colouring in my face and a bit of warmth. The last step I like to do for my base is add a bit of glow. So this is where I'm going to use my liquid highlighter. Just again going to use the lid of the bottle. What this does is it adds a really nice shine to my face, a nice healthy glow, and it just makes the light bounce off and gives me a nice life useful kind of look. So I'm just going above that blush line, and you can see the product going on there, catches the light. And then I'm just going to grab my foundation brush just to help blend it in. That's my base done. So from here I can continue on with my eyes, do my lips, do my mascara, whatever it is I want to do. I have a lot more videos on my channel showing you how to use cream to powder eyeshadows, which are a game changer for me. All the products I'm using and showing my own products that I also sell. So if you're interested in purchasing any or want help with color correction, color matching or skincare, just contact me via my other socials and I'll be able to help you out.